Hey guys, welcome to another segment of Word of the Day. My name is Caesar and we're Inspire Movement. Today we're continuing with our segment with the word optimism. So optimism by definition is a hopefulness or a confidence about the future, or possibly a successful outcome of something. That's what optimism essentially means. What are some of the things that we can do in order to become more optimistic if we're not? For one, we could practice something like positive mantras. We're all familiar with positive sayings that we can use in our everyday language and lingo, and we can use sort of as an anchor throughout the day to keep us within a positive mindset. We can try to focus on positivity. We could try to focus on things like our successes and not our failures. We can keep a gratitude diary. We talked about gratitude at length previously, but again, being appreciative of the things that you actually do have. We can try to find a role model, somebody who fits that mold or that framework of being positive, and try to basically emulate them. Those are things that we can do definitely to try to become more of an optimistic person. What are some of the habits that people that are optimistic display? Well, for one, they express gratitude like we talked about before, right? They don't listen to naysayers, to people that are always putting them down. They tune all that noise basically out. They are actually vested and interested in other people. They actually care about other people. They are very giving of their time and their energy in order to help other people. That's something else that they do. These are habits for sure that they display. So, those are some of the things that they basically exemplify. When I try to reflect on the word optimism, one, we have to know that it is a sign of strength. It's definitely not a sign of weakness to be optimistic. And why? You exude more joy, you exude more fulfillment, and certainly more happiness. Another thing that I failed to mention previously in terms of habits or things that people that are very optimistic display is something as seems almost silly, smiling. They physically manifest happiness and joy by carrying a smile more often than not. Seems silly, but think about it. If you're more positive and more lighthearted as a person, you probably will carry that physically. It'll manifest in you smiling more and being more agreeable to people. Seems silly, but again, would you rather be around a person that's kind of grumpy, or would you rather be around a person that's lighthearted and a little bit more fluffy in nature and makes you feel happy just by their very happiness? More than likely the latter. For me, it was beaten into me. I recall being maybe 10 to 15 years old, being so incredibly negative about small things and really big things. I was negative all the way around. And my dad in particular had to beat it into me all the time. You need to be positive. You need to be more optimistic. The glass is half full, it's not empty. And continuing beating that drum until it really became something that was like ingrained and stapled into my brain. To this day. As everybody that's watching this video, yes, I have had many hardships. I've experienced physical pain, I've experienced emotional pain, I've experienced spiritual weakness, I've experienced moments of sadness, of despair, of agony, of anxiety, of depression. You name it, I've experienced it just like you. And I cannot imagine through all those moments of hardship that I would have been able to make it through if I would have been completely negative and pessimistic about my outlook on life. At all. I mean, without question. I've had friends, maybe acquaintances more so than friends, that have expressed that, hey, I'm not pessimistic, I'm just a realist. I'm keeping it real. And I think I mentioned that before in prior segments. Keeping it real isn't basically always predicting that there's going to be a negative outcome to the future. That is being negative. That is essentially what that is. So we need to be very careful what we manifest, because I think that what we think and what we say, we have the power to manifest. That's what I believe. I'm not saying that as a rote fact. I'm just sharing a personal belief system more so than anything. But I do believe that wholeheartedly, that when we think things and say things, we can actually manifest them into reality. So if we're always hardwired that I'm not going to do this because I know what's going to happen, this negative thing is going to happen. I'm not going to do that because this is going to happen and that negative thing is going to happen. So we kind of really make ourselves stuck and idle so that there's never any sort of like upward movement or mobility. So we need to be very careful what we say and what we think, and try to Lean more on positivity than negativity. Lean more on optimism, hopefulness, and confidence in the future than pessimism and cynicism that we talked about in the past. Because as we know already, turn on the news on CNN or Fox News, whatever channel you're into for your cable news, there's a lot of cynicism already in the world, a lot of negativity. We don't need more of it. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts. I hope that you enjoy or can reflect with me something similar or not. Any criticism is more than welcome, as long as we're engaging conversation. That's really all that we care about at Inspire Movement. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, check us out, please, 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 on inspiremovement.com. We have so many different things planned for you, and we're throwing a lot of darts on the wall, all to try to help our community, to try to help our friends, to try to help our base. Thank you so much and have a great week. Bye-bye.